On Fridays, we like to check in on movies, on streaming. We do it with a guy who writes about music, streaming, movies. He is amazing when it comes to the art community. How he does it all, I do not know. You can read many of his things, his musings, his reflections, his reviews in the Marina Times. On social media, he's called the Culture Blaster. He comes and goes on a rainbow. How about it for Michael Snyder, everybody? Michael, welcome. I'm excited to have you in the studio.
Well, in solidarity with Texas Governor Greg Abbott, I have erected a barbed wire fence between me and Mark here in the studio.
Very well done.
Safety first, Mark. I can't.
Yeah, you don't want me crossing.
What?
No.
Right.
I have guards on my side of the fence, too, by the way.
Okay.
Courtney is armed. This will not go unnoticed, I'll tell you.
Wow.
Okay, if I seem a little hungover, it's probably due to celebrating Burns Night last night. It has nothing to do with J. Montgomery Burns from The Simpsons, but I celebrated along with my Scottish friends. And for those who don't know, it's a holiday in Scotland honoring the greatest Scots poet, Robert Burns. So,
Look at you, Mr. Sophisticate.
Haggis and whiskey, baby.
Wow. Any excuse to step up to the bar for you, huh?
Hardy.
Yeah.
By the way, contrary to popular belief, I did not steal Mark's luggage off that cruise ship.
Oh, my God. I have a story to tell about the luggage that I'll tell on Monday. Go ahead, Michael.
Yeah. The missing bags have not been sent to me, but I did contact Celebrity Cruises on your behalf, Mark, and convinced them to send me a large box of prawns and cocktail sauce packed in dry ice from the ship's buffet. And going on that, you were absolutely right. The quality of onboard dining there is impressive.
Yes. If they're only their return of the luggage is as impressive as the buffet.
It's
shameful.
Horrifying, shameful. Yes. Speaking of shameful,
yes, let's get right to your reviews. To the movies.
How about McShameful? The great Ian McShane of John Wick. He's Winston,
of course,
in the John Wick movies. In Deadwood, he was a major villain. In Game of Thrones, he had a major role, and he's so good in so many other notable projects. So,
it sounds like you don't like him in this one.
No. McShane, playing an aging but skilled assassin at the end of his deadly career, is the biggest asset of the quietly effective noirish thriller American Star, which, contrary to its title, does not involve any American to speak of. The title actually refers to the name of a rusting cruise ship that is halfway sunk in the ocean waters near a beach on Fuerteventura, a minor vacation destination that's one of the Canary Islands off the Moroccan coast. I think they're connected to Spain in some manner.
Yes.
Anyway, Fuerteventura serves as the movie's setting. It's where McShane's British ex-military man turned, killer, Wilson, is slated to take out his final target. It's a conceit that doesn't seem that original.
Yeah, there's always that. This is my last one. My last job, my last hit, whatever. But all right.
But while waiting for the man to turn up, the guy he's supposed to kill, Wilson encounters a cute young bartender named Gloria.
Oh.
And she's played by the able and charismatic French actress and singer Nora Arnezadeh.
Oh.
And she, I believe that's how you pronounce her name.
And they end up...
she's a little young for him. Gloria,
lunch that there's alcohol involved.
Well, there might be a little alcohol.
She
is a
drinking.
Bartender, so I would think
that she is. Gloria knows the island, and she seems like a good diversion. So Wilson kills time with her instead of killing the guy he's been assigned to take out, since the target is yet to return to Fuerteventura. So it's Gloria who tells him about the shipwreck, and whether or not the symbolism is fuzzy in the movie, Wilson becomes fascinated with the American Star, the Rusted Hulk. Directed by Gonzalo Lopez Gallego from a very spare script by Nacho Ferna. The movie is well shot. It's helped by the somewhat exotic locale. I never even heard of Fuerteventura before.
But you say it like you know it.
Well, I prepare for these things,
yes,
Mark.
Okay, very good.
And I have to say there is terrific supporting work by Fanny Ardant, one of France's most esteemed leading ladies, here playing Gloria's mother, and by Adam Degatis as an associate of Winston's. And though it meanders a little, it does payoff in the final act.
Oh.
And again, McShane is compelling in whatever he does. American Star is in select theaters. It's middling noir. I enjoyed it, but I love that kind of stuff. I'll watch old French film noir. I mean,
You're
like
a noir guy.
I like a conflicted anti-hero as much as the next guy.
So. Oh, this is good. I like a lot of the elements, even if they're not completely fresh. I oddly find myself interested in this film. What else do you have?
I think you would enjoy it. Okay. Although Daisy Ridley has been impactful in prestige dramas, including Ophelia, where she plays Hamlet's quote-unquote love interest, and The Marsh King's Daughter, where she plays the title character. She's best known for playing Rey, Luke Skywalker's Jedi Knight protege in the recent Star Wars trilogy, which may be why I was so surprised to see her as the lead in Sometimes I Think About Dying, a low-key character study about a timid office worker named Fran who lives in an overcast small town on the coast of Oregon and toils away on spreadsheets in her cubicle, rarely interacting with her fellow employees. And despite the gig that she has, it's a solitary life. I mean, she's forced to interact with some of the people in the office. And she loses herself in her job, and she also loses herself in surreal and somewhat morbid dreams. And it's quite a ways away from Ridley's more high-profile, high-energy roles. So things slowly change for Fran after the arrival of a friendly new employee in the office. This quiet man named Robert takes a shine to Fran and reaches out to her. And though it might be scary or against her better judgment, Fran may lower her guard and actually interact with Robert in some capacity or not. And that is the essence of Sometimes I Think About Dying, which was apparently based on a play, but absolutely benefits from the lovely atmospheric Pacific Northwest exteriors that serve as a backdrop when Fran is out of the office. Yes, it's a little on the modest and minor side, but it's kind of fascinating to watch Ridley's Fran slowly stir in response to the tentative attempts by Dave Marajay's Robert to break down her defenses. Director Rachel Lambert gets very real and heartfelt performances out of her cast, even the most minor throwaway of them. And to be honest, there is no great sweeping romance here, just a little
Just the tension. I mean, the dynamic between them. Is that what you're saying, Michael?
It's a little story about the inner lives, fears, and foibles of ordinary people that may move you in unexpected ways.
Yeah, foibles is a thing.
Go ahead. Well, there you have it. It's also in select theaters.
Great.
Like
what
American
else do you
Star.
have, Michael Snyder?
Well, let's move on to, I'm feeling kind of like we need something big, something important. And I have a movie that's gotten some Oscar recognition.
Okay.
Or at least,
it's in the buzz, is it?
It's in the conversation.
All right.
And I just caught up to it, and you can see it if you like on Netflix. A much bigger deal than the two previous movies insofar as it has been getting some legit awards nominations. Society of the Snow is a remarkable, powerful, and finely wrought docudrama about a very well-known event, and that would be the 1972 plane crash in the Andes Mountains that stranded members of a Uruguayan rugby team and a few other passengers.
Wrought is a ding word.
Those who didn't die in the accident, in a remote and treacherous place, the middle of the Andes, that forced the survivors to take what I will call extreme measures in order to stay alive.
You'll call it that?
I will.
I think anybody would call it that.
Okay.
They had to cannibalize each other, Michael. What's wrong with you?
Spoiler alert.
Come on, it's the most reported,
I know.
written about.
Speaking of spoiling, good thing it was so cold up there. Anyway, the incident and its aftermath have already inspired a very well-regarded English-language motion picture, 1993's Alive, which, by the way, starred Ethan Hawke as a member of the rugby team.
And you reviewed that positively back many years ago.
I probably did if I was reviewing films back at the age of 7. Anyway, directed and co-written by Spain's J.A.
Don't talk to me that way.
Yeah, go ahead.
J.A. Bayona, whose movies The Orphanage, The Impossible, and A Monster Calls have proven his knack for telling a genuinely exciting and often chilling tale. Society of the Snow is in some notable ways an improvement over Alive, beyond the fact that it's primarily in Spanish. That language aspect, the use of actors who are relatively unknown in the U.S., and the massive leaps in special effects technology since 1993 all give Society of the Snow a realness and a you are there quality that enhance the viewing experience. It's equal parts riveting and harrowing, whether you know the situation and the outcome of the actual crash or not. There are some graphic and horrific elements that some might find disturbing, but none of that is gratuitous. Bayona goes for the emotional core of what happened, the losses suffered, and the hard decisions that were faced by those who didn't perish when the plane went down, but who were desperate to survive.
And when it was an awful thing, and they faced excruciating decisions.
Absolutely.
And harrowing, I'm being told, is a ding word.
Of course it is. A Society of the Snow is a triumph of filmmaking about a triumph over impossible odds.
Wow, he likes it. It's in select theaters?
No, it's on Netflix.
I like it. I've got Netflix. I can watch it.
They probably played theaters to qualify for, Oscars and BAFTAs and such.
It's in Espanol, or there's a lot of Espanol?
So you're going to have to do a little reading, unless you speak the language. I know you speak Spanish to an extent.
But I don't know.
Poco.
Mocha.
Hey, speaking of mocha, oh man, have you ever had Coachella Valley coffee with a little shot of cocoa? Oh, yes. So good. Anyway, let's continue on a little foreign bent here, we can. We get finally to The Crime Is Mine, a very droll post-feminist homage to 1930s screwball comedy, French style, from France's Francois Ozon, a cinema provocateur, director, and screenwriter who's at home with modern interpersonal drama and also flamboyant tributes to classic movies. Ozon's filmography includes Swimming Pool, 8 Women, Young and Beautiful, Summer of '85, and other favorites of mine and my fellow Francophile film buffs. And in addition to its shaggy dog plotting, over-the-top dialogue, candy-colored Art Deco look, and generally frothy vibe, The Crime Is Mine, known, by the way, in France as Mon Crime, has some rising and renowned French actors and actresses.
You do speak French, I should tell everybody.
Oui, je parle français. These folks are in full romp mode. Relative newcomer Nadja Tereskowitz is kind of a cutie pie wannabe actress and an accused murderess, Madeline. Rebecca Martyr is her fledgling lawyer and roommate, Pauline. And among the big guns, Isabelle Huppert plays a has-been silent film star, and she is clearly having a ball doing this. And one of my favorite French actors, Fabrice Lucchini, plays a corrupt and inept judge. I mean, true to their lofty pedigrees, Huppert and Lucchini are particularly amusing, and they, like I said, seem to be having a blast as Ozon puts them through their paces. Though The Crime Is Mine is not what you might call laugh-out-loud funny. It's a lively, friendly farce with a certain je ne sais quoi that I found like totally charming and entertaining. In fact, I had a smile on my face for much of the movie. How shall I put this? Mon Crime est pour moi un très bon film.
For you,
yes,
The Crime Is Mine is a very good movie.
Yes, well, it's so much fun. It's available for streaming on various platforms, including Amazon Prime, Vudu, and Google.
I'm told that we must ding Francophile, so I will. Okay, go ahead.
It's so gratuitous. Would you
gratuitous
ding that,
is, you're right. We should have done that. Okay.
Well, let's go to TV land. What do you say?
Let's do some TV, Michael. We only have another minute or so.
Okay, so Echo, which finished its 5-episode run on Hulu and Disney Plus a couple weeks ago, in its entirety for binging, was definitely worth my time. A gritty, serialized addition to the Marvel Cinematic Universe on the TV side, with Alaqua Cox reprising her role as the deaf, one-legged Choctaw Maya Lopez, who is the adopted niece of Vincent D'Onofrio's now signature character, Wilson Fisk, the kingpin of Manhattan crime
Do I
lords.
need to see anything before I see Echo to know it, or can I just jump in?
It wouldn't hurt, but this guy is Daredevil's arch nemesis, the kingpin, and I have said this before. This character is maybe the greatest character that D'Onofrio has ever had a chance to play. He's played him over a series of Daredevil TV shows. And the first season of Daredevil, now available on Disney Plus, is an absolute banger and highly recommended. You may want to watch that first, and it is worth your time. It's very gritty, street level, despite being part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the TV branch of it. So there's lots of well-interwoven Native American aspects to Maya's backstory and powers, and an impressive selection of Native American actors in significant roles. Echo is really effective and satisfying. A self-contained tale that has connections to previous and upcoming Marvel projects, if you care, even though it works as a standalone, and the representational aspects are organic and necessary to the story. I just want to wrap up with one quick thing here. Lessons in chemistry. People suggested I should cover it a few weeks ago in the chats, and I am sorry, folks. I don't look at the chats while we're on air, so I can't really immediately respond.
His reviews to be pure, everyone, not influenced by the chat.
Well, anyway, it's on Apple TV. Lessons in Chemistry features Brie Larson, and she is exceptional as the star of this smart, amusing, and decidedly feminist series about a woman scientist in the 1950s who is, in essence, told to stay in the kitchen by the American patriarchal society of the day, and she ends up hosting a cooking show on the fledgling medium of television, and uses her forum to educate her viewers beyond just teaching kitchen skills. But it's a long road from being a talented chemist to where she ends up, and there's so much more to this than just the simple bare bones.
That's terrific. Patriarchal is a dang word.
I love this. This was so good.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a terrific show.
I'm reading the book right now. I like the series so much. I'm reading the book.
Wow,
Yeah.
Kim,
how are you?
Kim, very committed to it.
As a comic book reading, animation loving, superhero enduring guy.
Yeah.
I also want to quickly say on Disney Plus, Doctor Who is.
You love the Doctor Who series.
I do, and it's back with the 15th Doctor. This is a character that gets recast. And they have a convenient plot mode to do this, which is that he is killed and regenerates as a different character. And they did a different sort of regeneration to bring us Ncuti Gatwa, who is the first black, and he's an out gay actor, first black doctor, and he's teaming with Millie Gibson, a young actress well known to British TV lovers, as the 15th Doctor, and his companion Ruby Sunday, and longtime showrunner who brought the show back from basically the brink. Russell T. Davies has returned as showrunner after a number of years, and head writer. And there are 3 specials available on Disney Plus with the great David Tennant as the Doctor. He was the beloved 10th Doctor, and he regenerated as the 14th. Wow. And Catherine Tate, the comedic actress, as his once and returning companion, Donna Noble. This is so much fun. There's 4 episodes on Disney Plus, the 3 specials, and the Christmas special that introduced Ncuti Gatwa. And I love the stuff. I highly recommend everything we've discussed in the TV realm just now.
You really did give us a boatload. Remember, Kim, when we had the guy who brought Doctor Who to American television? It was going to be a Fox series. Do you recall this? We had him on.
No, I don't remember.
The great Matthew Jacobs, who I count among my friends.
Kim, how are you?
I can't believe Kim doesn't remember. We had
this is also,
guy
by the way, he's the guy who created The Emperor's New Groove for Disney. He worked for
he's the real thing, man.
Young Indiana Jones Chronicles.
But he thought it would be big on Fox. They gave him the green light. He wrote and ended up getting, through any number of circumstances, got shoved. You should go back and find that segment, Kim.
It premiered.
Maybe you'd like it.
It premiered against the Roseanne series finale.
Exactly.
Good luck in the ratings,
right. You realize so much goes on besides just being a good show. Doctor Who, he likes the latest iteration. Find it on Disney Plus. Lessons in Chemistry. Brie Larson is exceptional. And it is terrific, recommended by our chat, many of the people who watch and listen to the show, and Michael agrees with you all. Echo is the one-legged deaf heroine of this, is Maya.
A martial arts whiz, despite what she's dealing with, and played by a Native American who is actually deaf and an amputee.
Of course, because you cannot now, you got to cast everybody. You got to scratch your liberal itch with Echo.
Cox, she's a discovery. She pays.
Maybe see the first season of Daredevil, he says, if you want, which is really excellent if you want to watch it before, but you don't absolutely need to. The Crime Is Mine is a comedy romp. It's frothy. It's Frenchy. He loved it.
It's like a croissant in the morning.
Society of the Snow is remarkable. It's real. authentic. The selling, the retelling, I should say, of the story of the soccer team that went down in the Andes. It's on Netflix, and it is excellent, according to Michael. Sometimes I Think About Dying is the smaller film that somehow crawled inside of Michael's cranium. Daisy Ridley plays Fran, the cubicle-dwelling lead in this thing, and she gets into a relationship. We don't know if it's romantic, exactly what happens. Some kind of tension develops, romantic or otherwise, between her and a coworker who would like very much to connect with her. It is called Sometimes I Think About Dying, and it's in theaters. American Star is the Ian McShane offering.
It's a vehicle. It's a vehicle for Ian.
And he says Ian McShane is good. In fact, he thinks American Star is McGood.
It's McGood, yes.
Yeah, and it has a lot of the elements that you may have seen in film before, but it has Ian McShane.
Right.
And it also has great performances across the board. So he says it's solid. Again, not over the moon for it, but he very much likes it. Michael, you've done it all, but before you leave, please, as a diehard Niners fan, give me a sense of what you expect this weekend.
If Deebo Samuel can play, I have no worries. I do believe it's going to be a shootout at the Levi Corral. I have a funny feeling about it one way or the other. I know it's tough for any of us to be prognosticators, especially after what we saw in the rain last week. But I believe Brock Purdy will be on point. I think it's a dry field, and he's got so many weapons. And I know.
But Goff himself can be good on a dry surface.
But let's point one thing out: the Detroit Lions
Goff's the quarterback
have played
for Detroit, yeah.
primarily in a dome indoors, and this is the first time in weeks that they've played outdoors.
All right.
So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm rooting for my 49ers. I want them to get back to the big bowl. 2024 revenge tour. It's going to be either the Ravens or the Chiefs, and the Niners need revenge on those teams. A lot
of vengeance. He comes and goes on a rainbow. Michael, we love seeing you. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody, and go